Entrepreneurship is freedom. Entrepreneurship is change for the better. Entrepreneurship creates lives. Entrepreneurship is the pursuit of opportunity. You know, in 1983, I invited 5 or 6 entrepreneurship students from Chicago area universities to discuss collaborating. As I recall, this was the first time that I'm aware of where there was mention of creating an organization like CEO. Very importantly, we invited John Hughes and Gene Thorne from the Coleman Foundation, and they soon became great supporters of CEO. I knew it was going to be an important meeting, and that's probably the reason I remember it still. But at the conclusion of the lunch, it was agreed to begin working on hosting a student organization conference in 1984. We called it the Collegiate Entrepreneurs of Illinois. And at that first event, we had nearly 400 students attend, which far exceeded what we had hoped for. That was pretty much the moment, I think, when I realized we were really onto something.
So Gerry Hills has been involved in teaching entrepreneurship for many, many years. I first met him back in the late 90s when he really relaunched his Collegiate Entrepreneurs Organization into what we know today as CEO. And we would take 20 or 30 students in a van to this conference. And I vividly remember at the beginning of every conference, Gerry Hill standing in front of everybody and saying, "Good morning!" And everybody loved it, and it became his welcome every year at the conference.
Gerry spoke to the students with great enthusiasm, telling them about the entrepreneurship opportunities that existed for them. The students now know that an option exists for them to have a business while they're in college, something they may not have thought about previously.
You know, entrepreneurship education was pretty lonely at the beginning. There were few of us in numbers, but we made up for it with passion. You know, this was really important in my mind. You know, really kind of from a personal viewpoint, because entrepreneurship was always a very important part of my life. I grew up in a tiny town in upstate New York, and I started several micro enterprises as well. So when I entered business college, I was pretty disappointed to find a totally disproportionate focus on large corporations. And in fact, this is still pretty true today if you really think about it.
Gerry was willing to push the boundaries of education towards new ways of connecting students. His vision and hard work have made it possible for thousands of students to expand their experience of entrepreneurship and to build a lifetime network of like-minded friends and associates.
Gerry Hills is truly a pioneer in the world of entrepreneurial education. It was his innovation that launched academic organizations and student organizations such as CEO that continues to impact students around the world. He is one of the patriarchs of the academic discipline of entrepreneurship. What he realized was that entrepreneurship is something that belongs to all students across campus, regardless of their program of study or discipline. It was for this reason that he pioneered a new concept in entrepreneurial education while at Bradley University. In 2012, Gerry launched the Turner School of Entrepreneurship and Innovation at Bradley. This was the very first independent school of entrepreneurship in the nation.
So when you think about the legacy of these two people, John Hughes and Gerry Hills, on the field of entrepreneurship, it's pretty incredible. John Hughes, from the standpoint of being a successful business person, working with Gene Thorne and the Fannie Mae Candy Corporation, and then forming a foundation that was going to support entrepreneurship in the universities. That was a major step forward for foundations to do that, and so he was really a leader in the field for that. And Gerry Hills being very special, Dr. Hills was a phenomenal entrepreneurship professor, building a successful program at the University of Illinois at Chicago, and also at Bradley University down in Peoria. So, you know, pretty phenomenal when you think about the impact that he's had. But most impressively is the fact that Gerry was the one who founded CEO, the Collegiate Entrepreneurs Organization. And it was really just a dream of his. And I spoke to him in the early years when he would tell me about this idea of having a student organization that was going to have clubs and chapters all over the U.S. and eventually hopefully go global with it. And to see where it's gone today is pretty remarkable. So his dream has come true. It's truly a legacy of his, without question. I think he was certainly a mover and a shaker in the field of entrepreneurship. And building CEO is a legacy that he has left behind that is now touching students in entrepreneurship all over the world in all universities and all programs.
But yeah, that's always been one of my fond memories of CEO and the students rising to the occasion. You know, the mission of CEO has remained largely the same over decades. In the 1997 conference program, it was to inform and motivate college students to be entrepreneurial, seek opportunities through enterprise creation. The network and community that a CEO member builds is invaluable in their efforts to launch companies. It truly takes team effort, and the connection they make will see them through to future success. The times that most stand out for me were personal, is when the students came forward at the end of each conference and looked me straight in the eye and said, "Dr. Hills, you've changed my life." This has truly been my reward. You know, looking over all these participants and all this hard work, I'm pretty proud about what CEO has become.
Despite my 20-plus years of involvement with the Collegiate Entrepreneurs Organization, I personally have witnessed only a fraction of Gerry Hill's many contributions to the discipline of entrepreneurship education. His contributions are immense in both their breadth and depth. Gerry has authored or co-authored more than 50 entrepreneurship-related academic articles that legitimized the nascent field of entrepreneurship education and laid the foundation for an explosive growth in entrepreneurship-related scholarship. As a co-founder of the Collegiate Entrepreneurs Organization and the United States Association for Small Business and Entrepreneurship, Gerry established two enduring organizations that provide a close sense of community for those who recognize the value and importance of associating with other like-minded individuals. Those who have had the privilege of knowing Gerry understand what a truly humble individual he is and how he would be the first to recognize the many folks who have helped him achieve his many accomplishments, namely John Hughes, Gene Thorne, and Michael Hennessy of the Coleman Foundation, James Stuckel, Chancellor of the University of Chicago, Illinois, and of course, his wife of many years, Stella Bittencourt Hills. As for the success of CEO, Gerry has always credited the countless number of faculty advisors and their respective colleges and universities that are the linchpin of CEO's chapter model, which now counts approximately 250 chapters in the U.S. and a presence in 6 other countries worldwide. However, according to Gerry, the most important factor to the success of CEO are the thousands, literally the thousands of students who have participated in CEO over the last 4 decades and those that will continue to participate and benefit from CEO in the decades to come. This is Gerry Hill's legacy.
Good morning!